And Rich Trapper tapping in, TNN Trap News Network. You feel me?
Rich Trapper.
The homie wanted you to whitelist this shit too.
Who?
Rich Trapper.
Rich Trapper?
He be reacting to your shit.
Deal, y'all. What's the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal? Rich Trapper tapping in, TNN Trap News Network. You back in the same. Like, cook, crack in this thing, man. Like, comment, subscribe for more of this good content we got going on here at TNN Trap News Network. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe for all this good content we got going on here at TNN Trap News Network. Good news you can use, good knowledge though. You ain't gonna get nobody's college though, so make sure you tap in with the tap in. When you are tapping all the way in to get into this new content we got going on, man, make sure you hit that notification bell at the top. Hit all say tapped in for the latest and the greatest. Make sure you hit that subscribe button at the bottom. Make sure you become a part of the Rich Trapper Mafia. Get into that if you ain't got into that, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. Get into that, hit that description button, and follow the new page, Pagington. You feel me? Mother Chuckers thought 50 Cent was lying, but it's looking like Diddy was on some freaky timing. You feel me? We finna jump into this content without no further do's or don'ts, man. We got breaking news from NBC News. A judge denies Sean Diddy Combs bail after he pled not guilty to charges. Diddy ain't got no bail, and Diddy finna be getting his mail from jail. We finna get into this content. Let's go.
Hey, I'm Hallie, and tonight we are learning in just the last few minutes that a federal judge is now...
Keep in mind, Diddy got caught with 1,000... it's 1 million babies out here ashy, like they say in the chat, big dog, and Diddy got caught with 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Them freaky freak-offs was getting a little too freaky icky. You feel me? Yeah, they was wilding out, big dog. A wet body contest is wild.
Refusing to grant Sean Diddy Combs bail. Instead, he's going straight to jail tonight after Diddy pleaded not guilty to charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. Want to show you some of these brand new court sketches coming into us. Like, literally.
The court sketch is wild. That does not look like Diddy, bro. That does not look like Diddy. The court sketch is barnacles. That does not look like Diddy. I don't know who that nigga is, but that ain't Diddy.
In the last 90 seconds, this is Combs in court after
now, that
prosecutors...
one look like Diddy. This one looked like Diddy. This one looked like Diddy. Shout out to whoever drew that, because that one looked like Diddy. You feel me? But the other one,
arrested him at a hotel in Manhattan. It's where he's apparently been living for weeks, according to a person.
Now, with 1,000 bottles of baby oil, Rat Run Hunter finna go wild.
Familiar with the move, tells NBC News. All of it a tipping point now in that sprawling federal investigation into the superstar's alleged years of sex crimes dating back to 2009. As we're just getting in some new and deeply disturbing details about the allegations against him in what looks like a massive criminal operation, allegedly. At least 50 victims and witnesses so far. And at the center of it, these hours and days-long sex acts known as, in their...
Hours and days long. Sexual acts. Crazy.
Words, freak-offs that Combs supposedly orchestrated to abuse.
This nigga Diddy a freak. Diddy a freaky freak. The freakiest of the freaks. Like, Diddy, you a freaky freak. You a freaky freak, Diddy. I don't know what made you think that you could be dangling your Diddy like that. But brother, you are a freak, bro. You a freaky freak. You can't be
Use
doing
his
that.
victims.
Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them.
Prosecutors say Combs punched and kicked...
My bad, y'all. My device died. I'm back. My device died. I'm back.
...his victims to try to keep them under control.
Wait, let's run this back, though. Let me run this back.
Hey, I'm Hallie, and tonight we are learning in just the last alleged years of sex in Manhattan. It's where he's apparently been living for weeks, according to a person.
So he's been living in Manhattan for weeks this whole time. We thought that he was out the country. Did he been living? So, all right, so maybe. Diddy just did the throw off, because I thought bro was out the country. You feel me? Isaac Pam Cindy.
Familiar with the move, tells NBC News. All of it a tipping point now in that sprawling federal investigation into the superstar's alleged years of sex crimes dating back to 2009. As we're just getting in some new and deeply disturbing details about the allegations against him in what looks like a massive criminal operation, allegedly. At least 50 victims and witnesses so far. And at the center of it, these hours and days-long sex acts known as, in their words, freak-offs that Combs supposedly orchestrated to abuse his victims.
Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs. And he often electronically recorded them.
Prosecutors say Combs punched and kicked his victims to try to keep them under control. He'd also, they say, filled them up with drugs like ketamine and ecstasy for long periods of times, even using incriminating records to try to manipulate his victims. Prosecutors say they discovered this wide range of
so that's everything going on from the last story. This only update is that he did
evidence against Combs in several raids.
Hey, now this Diddy situation for sure is going to be bigger than Nino Brown. What if Diddy tell on everybody? What if Diddy say, man, this, I'm finna talk about this, I'm finna talk about that, I'm finna talk about Aaliyah. Diddy got hit with that Freako Rico. On God. Diddy got hit with that Freako Rico.
Things, they say, like AR-15s, narcotics, more to try to manipulate his victims. Prosecutors say they discovered this wide range of evidence against Combs in several raids. They found things, they say, like AR-15s, narcotics, more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricants.
The 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricants makes for a slimy situation, big dog. You in there having wet body contests with grown men. Wild Barnacalia.
But here that an attorney for Combs says that he, I'm quoting here, will fight this with all of his energy. His team is already planning to appeal the bail ruling, meaning they will be back in court tomorrow, as Combs has, as we mentioned, pleaded not guilty. We've got team coverage. Laura Jarrett standing by with the legal analysis piece of it. But I want to start outside court with Julia Ainsley, because, Julia, this went fairly late into the day. I know you've been at the courthouse as a judge, as we've just learned, is denying this request for bail. Explain why that is and what else we've learned today.
Yeah, that's right. We were in there for about 2 hours as the Justice Department from the Southern District of New York laid out their case, very similar to what you saw in the indictment, saying why he should not be released, because they say that he is a flight risk, he could leave the country, and also that he has a history of obstructing justice. They also pointed to how serious...
This nigga has a history of obstructing justice. That means that Diddy has a habit of not listening to the cops and doing whatever freaky Diddy want to do.
These crimes were that with previous allegations of sex trafficking like R. Kelly and Jeffrey Epstein, the judges also denied bail in that case. But
they compared him to the Epstein and the R. Kelly guy. You feel me? I ain't sure what you can and what you can't say on YouTube. But should have stayed where Russell Simmons was at, big dog. Russell Simmons said, I ain't taking these charges. Russell Simmons got on. He said he ain't going. Everybody else went. Russell Simmons got on.
His defense laid out a very lengthy rebuttal to all of that. We heard them say that this is different from Jeffrey Epstein and R. Kelly because there are no minors being alleged in the indictment here. They also say that these acts were consensual, and they point to victim number one, who's named over and over again, who they say is someone within a 10-year relationship with Combs that was...
And they talking about Cassie. Cassie is who they talking about.
Toxic, but consensual. They said that this person actually tried to sell this same story as book rights to Combs to try to get it out of the media's eye, but instead when he refused, then this civil lawsuit came up. But the judge
Cassie
ultimately
tried to sell
said
her story as a book first, and then when he wasn't with it, she went to the cops. I'm not saying that it's right, but I'm saying that it's going to be tricky, bro. A lot of what's what and who's and 1-2 steps like Sierra finna come out in this, and a lot of mess is finna be put on the table. Meanwhile, Russell Simmons and Bali doing goat yoga straight up.
That he could not be released because he is a danger. He has a history of substance abuse and anger issues. And she really drilled down on the fact that after those civil allegations came out last November, he talked to multiple women who he knew during that period and who he apparently tried to change their narrative so they wouldn't go forward and continue testifying or being witnesses to some of these acts that were alleged.
Yesterday, Diddy was eating a steak. Tonight, he eating a soup. Barnacles.
The civil complaint, and then were again put in the indictment today. And so she said in order to keep that from happening and really to end sex trafficking, since that can happen behind closed doors, it was best to keep him detained without bond.
Julia, it is, I think for a lot of folks, they will find this stunning considering that Diddy, right, Sean Combs, has been previously one of the most successful music superstars in the world. Just a year ago, he was handed a key to New York City. Now here we are, after months of this being out in the public, these allegations being made public, his denials. He's potentially facing 15 years to life in prison. What does the timeline look like here?
Well, we understand that tomorrow they'll try to appeal the judge's decision. His defense will do that tomorrow at 3:30. They'll meet again next week for a conference, and then perhaps we'll be looking at a trial early next year. But Hallie, I have to say, what you said there was also striking. I mean, I watched him today sitting there very humbly in court in a black T-shirt, nodding along with his defense, otherwise just looking very stoic, straight ahead at the judge. It's hard to imagine this is the same man, but the timeline is also staggering. It's one thing to think, oh, that was something that happened a long time ago. But the prosecution today said that these acts, what they're calling sex trafficking and coercion, all continued up until this year, Hallie, and started as far back as 2009. So this was not a brief when sex trafficking.
You have November 2003, Cassie sues for trafficking, that R word, abuse, then settles. 2 more women sue for an essay. In December of 2023, another woman sued saying that he R-worded her when she was 17. In February 2024, producer Lil Rise sued saying he pressured him into engaging blank acts with women of the night who sell Wooty Bam and witness Combs doing other drugs. In March, federal agents raid Combs' LA and Miami mansion. In April, lawsuits against Combs and his sons essayed other women jump up. In May, another woman accuses Combs of essay. Hotel security footage comes out showing that he whooped Cassie's feet in 2016, and Combs posts a public apology. Wednesday, Don Richards sues for psychological and physical abuse. Monday, he was arrested. It's been a crazy time.
Coercion all continued up until this year, Hallie, and started as far back as 2009. So this was not a brief window.
Julia Ainsley live for us there outside court in New York. Can you just give a sense really quickly, Julia, before I let you go? Is it just a scene there? I mean, I have to imagine, given who Sean Combs is, it is just a crush of cameras, a crush of people.
It is. It's been really crowded today, and there have been people who've been driving by, sometimes screaming, "Free Diddy." Someone else stood up earlier and said Tupac would be ashamed of Diddy. It's been a lot of people, a lot of...
The white girl saying Tupac would be ashamed of Diddy is the entire highlight of this whole thing. It was all worth it for this one white girl moment.
Public interest here. I will say the court wasn't as crowded as I thought, but still nearly full, and also full of his friends and family who came out.
Thanks for watching.
All right, man. So that's that, man. Diddy's out here diddly dangling the diddler. You feel me? The Diddy dangling diddler. So that's that. You know, barnacles. But red dots to the left. Y'all know the rest. We'll keep y'all updated as the story continues to develop. Y'all stay in Kick and Chat. Red dots to the left. Y'all know the rest, man. Free Avenue Angel. He's free. We gone.